they are. Once again, one of the problems we have.
The end result of the fraud and abuse that has been discovered already.
Footage from town halls in California and Georgia and Wisconsin in the last few days, where Republican members of Congress are being just sandblasted by their constituents about what Trump and Musk and Republicans are doing in Washington. Seems like those have been playing out around the country over the last few weeks. And as this pressure has been upped against Republican members of Congress, we are starting to see some of those Republicans starting to take some of the gentlest possible steps toward, if not criticizing the administration, at least asking some questions. Let's start with Georgia Republican Congressman Rich McCormick. You just heard him there getting booed by his constituents when he told them he supports the cuts at the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, because he said a lot of the workers there are, quote, duplicitous with AI. I think he meant duplicative? I don't know. But that was what he said last week. Now here is what Rich McCormick tells NBC News this week. Quote, if we have layoffs at the CDC, some people are going to be affected. The question is, do we give people time to adjust to their lives? And I think that's my biggest concern, is that we're being compassionate. He was excited to the point of forgetting grammar last week about replacing these folks with robots. This week, he's calling for compassion. Also consider Wisconsin Republican Congressman Scott Fitzgerald. He's the one who tried to tout all the waste and fraud that DOJ has found before being shouted down by his constituents who yelled at him that he had literally no proof. Quote, literally no proof. Well, now here's Congressman Fitzgerald this week. Quote, it would be better, I think, for members to have real specific information because we don't have it. I don't have it. We don't know what they're looking at and we don't know what the numbers are. I'm learning about this when I see a broadcast as much as anyone else right now because we haven't been briefed on it. We haven't been briefed on it. It would be better to have real information. I don't know. Yeah, I bet it would be better. Republicans are starting to feel the heat from their constituents on this. And at the edges, they are finally starting to change their tune, at least incrementally. Not a full octave, but maybe a note or two.
If I could say one thing to Elon Musk, it's like, please put a dose of compassion in this. These are real people. These are real lives.
Some of the rash decisions that I've seen coming out of DOJ, there are rash decisions being made, and it needs to kind of slow down a little bit. Like I think they need to be more targeted and they need to be more thoughtful. Things are happening a little bit too fast and furiously.
Just a little bit of humanity and dignity to the process, I think, is what many of the Alaskan federal employees are asking for, and I don't think that that's asking for too much.
If the pressure on these Republicans is having an effect on them, the realization, the turnaround in some of them is coming at a really inconvenient time for them. And that's next. Stay with us.